Hi, how are you?
Hey, hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you so much for having me.
Man, I appreciate this. Yeah, this is it's gonna be pretty exciting to talk about. So yeah.
Yes, I'm so excited. Thank you again for having me.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I'm already recording. We can go ahead and get on started.
Let's do it. Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna give you the floor. It's all yours. You introduce yourself and what do you do?
Cool. Well, hi, my name is Taylor Marie Contarino. I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm originally from Southern New Jersey, right outside of Philadelphia, and I moved to Los Angeles when I was like 19 to pursue my education at USC. I just graduated with my bachelor's and my master's degree, and now I'm a singer-songwriter living in LA.
Well, congratulations to you. Yeah. I know that was probably a lot of hard work there.
Yes, I got rejected so many times. I really
Oh
did.
my
But
goodness.
honestly, it was helpful because honestly, like that taught me that rejection really is redirection. And I feel like that's something you always have to keep in mind, especially when things get hard.
No, no kidding. You ain't lying there. Because I know a lot of people would have probably actually just given up at that point. They just would have never looked back. It just would have been like, I tried this opportunity and I got rejected. And I'm gonna
Yep,
move on to something else. And they really never got to experience the opportunities that they really wanted to do. And
exactly.
it could get
Exactly.
crazy.
No, for real. That's why I'm so glad that I did not take no for an answer because moving to
Hmm.
LA, it honestly changed my life so much. And I'm so, so grateful that I decided to do it because there was a part of me that for sure was like, let me just stay on the East Coast. It'll be a lot easier, of course. But hey, sometimes the easy way doesn't mean that it's the right way, you know? I mean, my mom always told
Correct.
me nothing worth having comes easy.
No, it isn't. Yeah, you're right. That's a and sometimes it could be a hard pill to swallow at the same time because you feel like you're taking a chance and then it's like I don't think this will be the right path. But
Right.
then you got those ones that's actually like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just do it anyway. Take the chance, take the risk, and especially to a new state, new city, different environments. So yeah,
Yeah, and
that's good that you actually hung on.
thank you. So many people questioned it and they were like, "Are you sure you really want to do this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am sure," because so many people would tell me they were like, "What if it's not what you want it to be? What if it's not what you're expecting it to be?" And I could have definitely thought to myself, "Oh no, like what if it's not what I'm wanting it to be?" But honestly, quite the contrary. What ended up happening was that it was more than I ever could have asked for.
Yeah, yeah, because there's so many people like they'll it's like a disconnect. Like there's some people that can actually relate to it, but then there's other people that'll shoot it down. They'll start
Exactly.
questioning it like you did. Like they'll start questioning, like, yeah, are you sure this is the one? Are you sure this is, what you want to pursue? Instead of being like, okay, well, I
Yeah,
trust your judgment. I trust what you can do.
exactly.
And hey, go for it. And that's what most people really don't tend to do these days. So that's that's what decisions can make,
Exactly. I
more
think it's
harder.
just about I think it's just about being resilient too, because it's like at the end of the day, life is going to be exactly what you decide it is. I mean, it's all about our perspective, it's all about our mindset. So as long as you're staying positive, I think you're able to make anything you want out of your current circumstances.
That grit. That's what that is. That's what it's all about, that grit. So yeah,
Exactly.
that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Thank
Congratulations
you.
to
I
you. That's
appreciate that.
that's a big accomplishment.
Thank
We'll
you.
get to your song in a second,
Yeah,
but there's a couple of things I want to ask real
let's do
quick.
it, of course.
So, when did you realize music was becoming a way to process your emotions?
Ooh. Honestly, I, I've always had a big love for music, but I would say when I lost my father on December 29th, I made a commitment to myself, and this was this past December. Um,
Ooh,
I made a commitment to myself that I was going to start going to the studio every week following his passing, and I wasn't going to force myself to make anything. I was just going to go in with an open mind. And honestly, redirecting that energy into creating something beautiful, it worked wonders for me. And I think the other thing is like not putting that pressure on myself to feel like I have to create, but rather deciding I will give myself space to create. That's what was a game changer for me, was deciding that I don't need to stress, I don't need to have anxiety, because I'm definitely a perfectionist, and I would say I'm very much a type A person. I like to be in control at all times, know exactly what's happening, know exactly what's coming next, be two steps ahead. But giving myself the space to allow myself to create, that's what helped me heal, actually. Not forcing myself to doing anything, but telling myself that this is your time and this is your space. You get to do what you want to do with it.
That's interesting. So, how did taking small steps actually help you actually do what you needed to do after your dad's passing? How did the because I know small steps could be, you know, time consuming. It could be like, okay, you could take little itty bitty steps and then just work your way up. And sometimes it could get difficult. So, how was it for you, like when you started taking smaller steps and just, stepping stone from there?
I think taking smaller steps and being patient is something that I never liked to do. I actually really
Yeah.
am a fast-paced person, and I like to get things done. I like to move like boom, boom, boom. But I realized at a certain point, I'm like, am I really making the most of life if all I'm doing is just going boom, boom, boom from one thing to the next? So I had to make a decision to give myself the freedom and the space to create. And honestly, I think that my most beautiful music came out of it, because it didn't feel like anything was being forced. It didn't feel like I was telling myself, oh, today's the day, I need to do this, I need to do that. I need to come up with like this song that, works wonders and becomes mainstream. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't really about that, because when you go through something as brutal as like losing a parent at a really young age, it kind of forces you to be more introspective and kind of think to yourself, what things are really important to me in life? What things matter more than anything else? What are my priorities in life? And my priorities in life are the people in my life that I love so much. It's my family, it's my mom, it's my siblings, it's my best friends, it's my partner, it's God. So it's like it forces you to kind of take a step back, and then also it's me and my mental health. I think that's really important. And for me, it's interesting because music became such a large part of my mental health. And I think when I wrote Survivor's Guilt, which is the first song I wrote after my dad passed that made me cry, and that song, honestly, this song means more to me than any other song I've ever released, to be honest with you, just because it's so raw and authentic. And I just feel like I didn't hold back. Taking small steps allowed things to flow naturally and easily. I don't like, it's kind of interesting because I like pressure, especially in a
Oh
competitive
yeah.
setting. But when it comes to art, I like to release the pressure and I like to just let things flow. Now, I wasn't always like that. It wasn't until I
Mm.
went through this large shape shifting experience that you call loss and grief. It wasn't until that happened that I decided, okay, I'm going to give myself some space to create, and I'm going to give myself some space to find a coping mechanism that works for me, because there were so many people trying to tell me how to cope and how to deal with the grief I was going through. And some people were trying to tell me just to move on. And I I'm too emotional of a person. I'm too
Mm-mm.
sentimental of a person. I'm too sensitive of a person. Like, if I think about the puppy or my doggy that I lost when I was probably like 11 years old. I'm 24 now. I still will cry, because it's like it's not so much about anything other than it's about there's a void in your life when you lose out on a person that means so much to you. They might not have been perfect, but they don't have to. It's about that void. And music and my flow state that music puts me in is the only thing that really allowed me to get through it.
You talked about that, like, because I tend to get emotional too. Like, I'm not really an emotional guy, but I had really went through some things.
Yeah.
Had to put my dog down in June,
Sorry. Yeah.
and he was 15. And it's one of those things, like, a lot of people will actually tell you it's like he's just a dog. He's just a dog. Like, you gotta move forward. Like, how can you say that he's just a dog that's been with you through the thick and
Yeah.
the thin for 15 years?
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, how do like that to me really
Yeah.
that really makes me mad when people would
Yeah.
say that. Like, them are people that actually just don't understand the whole dynamic of having dogs. And
Exactly.
them are the ones that really don't deserve animals like that.
Yeah.
Because they and they'll put the loyalty on you.
Yeah,
They'll be with you
yeah,
through the thick and the thin. And
right.
having him for 15 years, oh my gosh, that it's tough for me, and it's still tough. Like I could come home and
Yeah.
he ain't there. It's like it's nothing that I can
Oh,
really,
I know. It
see.
hasn't been long either. I mean, it's only been June,
No,
so it's like,
no.
that's totally understandable, and I truly do get it because at the end of the day, like I said, it's about that void that you experience. It's about the
Hmm.
memories that you're no longer creating that you're not going to be able to experience again. I think that's what grief is about, and I think a lot of people fail to understand that.
Yeah, they fail big time because I know that I have to, do a lot of adjusting. I have to, come to grips. Like I thought at first, I thought I was actually like accepting. Like I accepted this because
Yeah,
I knew he was getting older,
yeah,
and I knew at some point that it was going to happen. I
yeah,
just didn't know when because he was just getting older, and that's when things started changing within I think early June.
yeah,
Yeah, I think it was late May, early June. Things really started to change, and that's when he started deteriorating badly, and then that's when
sorry.
I had to do it. So yeah,
I know.
yeah, I can understand grief. Like at the end of the day, I can understand it because
Yeah,
it's still hard. Like
yeah.
I can't even open up my door and look at him and
I know
just
that's the
wave
thing.
at him.
It's the small things. Like I was going through my
Hmm.
dad's Facebook the other day and looking at our
Hmm.
messenger, like the Facebook Messenger app, and I was like,
Hmm.
wow, like that's the last one. Like that's it. Like that's crazy to
That's
me.
it.
It's probably the same thing with you. It's like that's the last time your dog came through that door. So that's really sad.
Yeah. Like just carrying him out for the last time, like
I hate
leaving
that.
him out the house. It was
Yeah.
hard.
It
It's
is really
hard.
hard.
Like it's hard. Like it's those
Yeah.
interactions and the difficulties of dealing with that. It's like, oh,
And it's the
I'm
loss
not even.
that you feel too, It's just that
Mhm.
loss. Like when anything exits your life, it's just heartbreaking. I really do understand. I mean, it's taken me so long to kind of like be at the point that I'm at right now where I'm kind of like I can handle myself on a day to day, but I don't know about you, but I remember the first couple weeks I was a mess. No one could get me out of bed. Everyone's like, "Please get out of bed." I'm like, "I am staying here. I'm gonna cry here. That's what I'm doing. That's the plan for today is to cry." Like and that's okay sometimes. Sometimes you need that. Like sometimes it takes time before you're able to kind of reassimilate back into society. But I think it's okay to give yourself time and space to be able to grieve. And
No
that's what
doubt.
it was for me, honestly. That time and space.
For sure. And like I kind of wish I could have actually just laid in bed, but
Yeah.
having a 5-year-old, it
Oh,
just don't work like that.
yep,
It
yep.
don't work like that.
Right.
So so it's like I like the most that I really did was like I put a tribute post to him on Instagram, and
Yeah.
then I cried then, and I'll continue looking at the post. I cry and I cry and I cry. So it's one of those things like I have to just get up and just try to keep focused and
Yeah.
move forward and just be there with my daughter and all that. But there was like actually being in that space, it was difficult. So
Yeah.
yeah, I can't talk about that no more. I'll end up crying again.
I no, I completely understand, and I'm really sorry for your loss.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It was tough, but yeah,
Of course.
it is what it is. I just, you know, he's out of pain now. That's all I can say.
Of course, of course. And he lived a long life too. But
Oh yeah, he did for sure,
yeah,
for sure. So your song.
yeah.
So what inspired you to write that song? Survivor's Good.
You know, I went to the studio for one of the first times after I lost my dad. And
Hmm.
I was making songs. This was I think the second or third song that I made. And I feel like I was kind of like not bullshitting, but with the other songs,
Hmm.
they were just too I was writing what I wanted other people what I thought I was writing what I thought other people wanted to hear. So my first couple songs was like grief looks different for everybody, which is absolutely true, and I still love that song and I still think it's great. But the reason and what was the other one that I wrote? I really liked that one too, but it was like something about like I always knew this was gonna happen because unfortunately my dad struggled with substance addiction, and that's how I lost him to
Ah,
substance um, overdose. So it was something that we kind of knew it was going to happen. That my other song was called Punch in the Gut. Those were great songs too. I have yet to put those out, but I really enjoyed writing those songs. But again, I was writing from a POV, from a perspective of what I thought people wanted me to say, what I thought people wanted to hear. Survivor's Guilt was this first one where, I mean, first I heard the beat. Shout out to the producer, Surface Gray, really fantastic, really talented individual. When I first heard like the opening kind of instrumental of that beat, I just felt like it was really emotional and very melancholy and just very it instantly
mhm,
felt very, I guess, sentimental to me. And so
mhm,
I kind of felt a little bit of a shift where I was like, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sing exactly how I feel. And I remember I walked around inside the beautiful studio over in North Hollywood for a little bit, and I kind of kept thinking, okay, like what do I actually feel? How do I actually feel? What do I actually want people
mhm,
to know? And honestly, the main thing I wanted people to know is that people know me as being a very strong and a very optimistic and a very happy person, even though I have been through a lot in my life, I would say, at a pretty young age. But I felt like people didn't really know what to say to me because, again, being a positive person, being an optimistic person, being a hopeful person, I feel like people didn't really know what to say when my dad passed away. And all I kind of needed was just them to be there for me. I mean, what can you say, really? I'm sorry for your loss. I appreciate that, and I also know that there could be a little bit of discomfort around grief and loss because it's a very difficult thing to deal with. And hey, it looks different for everybody, and I totally get that. But in my song, so it opens up with like, what do you do when everybody knows you're so strong, when everybody knows that you can hold your own? And I really do feel that way because it's like, what do I do? Like everyone knows I'm a really strong person. Everyone knows that I'm able to hold my own and that I'm good on my own. I can handle it. I'm an independent person. But what do you do when you're going through something so monumental and so life-changing? It's it's really hard, and I think it's a very like nuanced thing because when we lost my dad, because he struggled with substance addiction, there's a reality, right? Where it's like he wasn't the perfect dad. He was not the most present person in my life or in my siblings' life. And that's just the unfortunate reality. But there's that
mhm,
dichotomy, right? Because it's like that doesn't mean he was any less valuable. That doesn't mean that he was any less loved by God and loved by our family. And it's just very unfortunate the reality of what he went through because I feel like what I missed out on is the presence of a father in my life. And that it still breaks my heart to this day. And I haven't really talked about it openly like this in a forum setting before, which is nice. But it honestly still messes with me to this day because it's like, I think we could all really use a dad in our lives. And so
yeah,
it just really, this song to me is a mix of anger, frustration, hope, anxiety, fear. And I don't know. I mean, there's just so many emotions I could put into it, but it's like this song to me, it was inspired by all these feelings just culminating. Like my anger at my dad for making the decisions that he made, but then also my sense of guilt because it's like, damn, like he must have felt so lonely to be doing the things that he did. Like he must have felt so lonely, and
mhm,
that breaks my heart because I'm like, I wish I could have showed up for him in a way that was understandable to him, in a way that could have encouraged him. And the other emotions is like, well, I'm angry, I'm furious because I tried my best. We all tried our best, and it still wasn't enough. So the concept of survivor's guilt is very much about like it's there's always going to be a sense of guilt when you lose somebody because it's like, well, why did he go down that path and why did I go down this one?
You know what? I'm gonna say this. Like, generally, I don't, speak in these terms, but as a dad, it's tough. It's tough to be around. It's tough to be alive. Like, I feel that way as a dad. Like, I know that I don't want to think in a way that is going to take risk on my life or, you know, do things that's going to risk my life and me wanting to be there, for my child.
Yeah.
Like the the bigger issue is like, okay, now at this point, I'm abusing and I'm doing, all of these things. It's like now I feel like I don't even deserve to be alive.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, like you said, it's the guilt. And it's like, even though, um, for me, I don't do drugs. I don't do alcohol. Well, I do socially, but
Of course. I feel
let's just say
I understand.
I'm just gonna say like rarely because I'm rarely sociable, but
Yeah.
if I'm hanging out with family, friends, or whatever, I'll do it on that type of socially, but there are going to be times when I can look at myself and be like, damn, I don't even think I deserve to be here. Like, because I look at my child and the first thing that comes into my mind is like, is she even proud of me? Does
Yeah.
she even love me? Does she even, it's just so many questions
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
um that I ask myself every day, like when I wake up in the morning. But she texted me last night and she was like, I love you, Daddy. You're the best dad I could ever ask for.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So I know now that I'm feeling, you know, this relief
Yeah.
that I'm made from something. Like
Exactly.
you said, ain't no dad's gonna be perfect.
No,
No
of
dad's
course.
gonna be perfect. And they're going to go and, do some reckless things, or they're not going to be around
Yeah.
or whatever. But, sometimes I just have to make the best of what I'm given. And sometimes, yeah, talking about grief can be hard because it's hard to talk about
Yeah.
and it can get uncomfortable
Yep.
because you're sitting with your thoughts.
Exactly.
You're going to be sitting with your thoughts. And when you're sitting with your thoughts, you tend to overthink, then you start asking questions.
Yeah.
There's just so much
Yeah.
going on in your head. And then you start playing the blame game. You blame yourself or you blame somebody else. There's just so much just going through. That's why it's so hard.
I
And I
know.
can understand from your perspective with this song.
Yeah.
And I can see how deep that can hit.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
can hit.
Yeah, and it
Right?
breaks my heart too because it's like I'm a really obviously a really big advocate for mental health, and I think mental health
Oh, yeah.
generally comes before anything else in your life, of course, because at the end of the day, if you don't got yourself, what else do you have? You need that before
Hmm.
everything else. You need your mental health, you need your physical health, and honestly, mental health is physical health. So
Hmm.
for me, it just breaks my heart because I just wish there was more I could have done for him, and it's just it's really hard. Like I don't really even have any words for it because it's like there's always going to be that feeling of I wish I could have saved him. And honestly, that's probably what survivor's guilt is about at the core of the song. I believe it's about my guilt and not being able to save my father. I mean, we tried so many things. I
Hmm.
said everything I possibly could have. We went out and I actually, I mean, by the grace of God, I went out and I visited him. I think it was right around my birthday, actually, November 27th. I around that time, I went out and I saw my dad. I think I left like the day after Thanksgiving or something to go see him in Florida in like the Delray. Sorry, is it called Palm Beach? Palm Beach, that's where he was living. The Palm Beach area, like an hour from Miami. And we went and we saw him, and we tried to reason with him, and we were like, we have this like recovery center, like a treatment center that we really want you to go to. It seems like a really great place. You might be able to get some results here, but he kept saying he didn't want to. He just didn't want to. And then I remember on Christmas I called 911, and then the next Christmas Eve I called 911. Christmas Day I also called 911 and tried to send them over to his house, and he wouldn't go. He said no. He refused to care. So it's just like I think that is honestly I never really thought about it until you asked me, but I think that might be what Survivor's Guilt is about. I think it's about the fact that I tried everything I possibly could have, and I believe all of us did, and I just don't know what more we could have done, and that's always gonna mess with me.
You know, the damn thing. It's like he was stuck to what he did. And sometimes, sometimes guilt will eat you up. And sometimes the addiction can be pleasurable. And you did all you could. Like that's it's hard because of how you just throw your heart and soul out there to
Yeah.
save someone. And you feel like you're a failure at the same time because you did everything you could. And
And it's very vulnerable too, because it's like
oh yeah,
you tell them exactly how it is. I mean, I remember telling him, I was like, please, I really, really want a dad in my life. Like, just at its core, just being as honest and raw as possible. Like, I want a father in my life. Like,
yeah,
this isn't fair. But then at the same time, it's like, away from my desires as a person, it's also like, well, he was fighting demons that we don't understand. And we don't know what they were telling him. We don't know what they were saying to him. We just don't know. So it's like, it's just sad how everything unraveled. It's really, really sad. And unfortunately, like there's nothing that anyone can really say to make it better. And I think that's the when it comes to grief, I think it's important to recognize that there's not really anything someone could say to make things better. And that's why when my friends are going through similar situations involving grief and loss, I kind of tell them, I'm like, hey, you know, it's not lost on me that there's nothing I could say to make this better, but just know that I'm here for anything you need, anything that might help you feel better. It doesn't matter what it is, but I think it's just important for people to know that you're there for them. Because there's going to be nights when you're crying your eyes out, and it could be 1 or 2 a.m. and you're unconsolable, but hey, maybe there's nothing your best friend could say, but they could just pick you up and take you for a ride and just hear you. And sometimes that's plenty. Sometimes that's more than enough.
yep. And that's absolutely right. Because I love sharing this because I think it's important with grief and depression and all of that. I had a guest on, I think a few months back, and I asked him this. I just asked him a basic, it wasn't even a basic question, but I just asked him, I was like, if you're, I'm going to have to, because I don't remember exactly what I asked, but I'm just going to have to put it the best way that I could. I asked him if there was someone that you saw that's going through something, what would you say to them? He looked dead at me and he was like, nothing. I'll sit with him, make him comfortable.
Yeah.
And hell, you sit quiet with him. I'll just sit quiet with him. And that took me away. That took me away because that was the best answer I've ever heard. That was like, because a lot of people would, they'll say, hey, I'm here for you. You need anything, holla at me. There's so much that a lot of people can say, but not to say nothing. That was powerful. It really was.
I want to put you on. There's this song.
Mhm.
I'm gonna show you in the group chat, but it's
Sure.
called "Blessed" by Schoolboy Q featuring Kendrick Lamar. Have you ever heard this song?
I've heard of cute. I heard of them, but I don't think I heard the
Okay.
song.
I'm gonna send you this song only because so this is one of my gym songs that I've been listening to ever since, whenever I'm working out, ever since I lost my dad. I showed my brother too. I show everybody this song to be honest. I'm
Yeah.
willing to
Yeah.
listen. Um, in this song, I kind of want you to just be able to listen so you could experience it yourself, but I want you
Sure.
to know that the reason I shared it with you is because it's
Mhm.
emulating everything you're saying. Because at the end of the day, we can't bring back the people that we've lost, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We can't,
Yeah.
there's nothing we could really say to make someone feel better after experiencing such a monumental loss. But what we could do is just be there for them. Just literally just be there for them. That's really all it is. Like that's really all it is. And I'm sure other people would agree with that because again, there's nothing you could
Mhm.
say, but just knowing that you care, that's all that matters.
Absolutely. So, survivor's guilt. So, what do you hope people would take away from that song?
Man, I just want people to know that they're not alone. I think, especially ever since losing my dad, like I want everyone in my life to know that I am here for you. I'm always going to be here for you. Whatever you need, I got you.
Sure.
I don't want any of my friends to ever be going through mental struggles and not feel like they can come to me, because if anything, and that's the thing that I even said this at my dad's funeral after we lost him. If
Mm,
anything, my dad brought us together closer. He brought us all together more. Losing him, it made me closer with my brother. It made me feel more vulnerable and open. I think it made my brother more vulnerable too, because I never seen my brother cry, but he cried at my dad's funeral. I mean, all of us
mm,
did, right? Because it was just such a big
mm.
emotional experience for all of us. And it made me kind of see the vulnerability in everybody, and it made me see the beauty in them too, because it kind of reminded me, at the end of the day, we're all man, we're all here on earth for the first time. We're all doing life
Oh
for the
yeah.
first time. Like, even our parents, and I like what you said earlier about being a dad, because you're right. Like, I can't imagine what it's like to be a parent. I mean, I love my mom so much. She works so hard and she does so much for us, and I can't imagine having four kids. Like, I really can't imagine. Like, there's four people that just depend on you for everything, and that's like, wow. Like, parenthood is a beautiful thing, and I think parents need a lot more recognition because they're amazing for everything that they do for us. And I recognize not everyone has, a certain type of relationship with their parent, but I am grateful that I do have a really good relationship with both of my parents, even the one who's not here anymore. But yeah, I think everyone deserves their flowers, and I think everyone deserves to know that they are loved and they are honored and that they deserve to be here, because again, like, one thing you kind of learn from living with, or just having a parent that is experiencing
Mm.
substance addiction, mental health is so important, because my dad had a really good life. I mean, his parents set him up pretty well. He had a beautiful wife, my mother, two really great kids, but there was still something he was going through that we were not a match against. We couldn't fight it, whatever he was experiencing. And I don't even put blame on him anymore. Maybe there was a time when I did, but I don't I don't feel any sort of resentment or anger towards him, because I understand that whatever he was going through was bigger than I could understand. And really, I just want him to know that I love him, and I wish there was more that we could have done for him.
Yep. Absolutely. Because I know we can all sit here right now and do the opposite. We could be blaming someone. We could be, you know, blaming dad for,
Yeah,
getting himself into that.
yeah,
And at the end of the day, it's something that no one can control. No one. Like, it would have been up to him if
yeah,
he would have, gotten himself together.
yeah.
But you can't really blame anybody for
No, no.
struggles because everybody struggles and everyone is not okay. So
Exactly.
you
And
just,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
everyone's going through their own battles, and that's another thing I've learned, is that genuinely everyone is going through a battle of which we have no idea about. We don't know anything about these battles. So I just think it's really, really so important that we are just kind to everybody. That's why, like, a lot of people think I'm like too nice. I'm like way too outgoing and way too kind. Like, I'll go out of my way. Like, if I see something on the floor, I'm gonna pick it up. I'm just because I want to make people's lives easier. I want to make people's lives happier. Like, I just think if there's a way to show kindness to someone, do it. That's why I don't understand how, I don't get how, and not everyone's like that. But what I will say is, like, as much as it's terrible, like, being this age and losing someone so important for such a terrible thing, it also made me a lot more nice and a lot more humble and a lot kinder and a lot more genuine. Like, that's one beautiful thing. I think people that have been through so much struggle, they end up being really kind to people, and I think that's a good thing.
Mhm. And that's the funny thing because I had mentioned just a little earlier, there was a disconnect. And like, I was having a conversation, I think it was last week, with my dad and my sister
Yeah.
and my dad's wife.
Okay.
And my sister was talking about how emotional she can get when it comes to her job, and that it is so bad that she cries. And she just literally cries because of how bad. her job is.
Yeah.
And my dad told her, like, well, you have to advocate. And that right there is where I saw the disconnect
Yeah.
because you have him. He did all that. He worked for the bus company for I think it was 40 God, I think it was 47 years.
Wow.
And he advocated, like he
Yeah.
spoke up. He did everything that was right or wrong. He spoke up on it, mainly wrong, but he spoke up on it. He did everything he could. But the difference between him and my sister is that he was taught to suppress,
Mm.
his thoughts,
Mhm.
his struggles at his job and stuff. Like he was taught to suppress that. My
Mm.
sister, on the other hand, no, she grew to know that, hey, I'm not doing okay mentally. My job is stressing me out, or my personal
Yeah.
life, whatever it is stressing me out.
Yep.
And, it's hard for me to handle. I'm not okay.
Mhm.
And my dad, on the other hand, is being suppressed to it, speak on it. And I can respect both sides of it,
Yeah.
but at the same time, mental health wasn't a big thing back in the day. So that's what makes that situation harder. And that's how they can disagree to that because of how he was raised and how he spoke on things versus my sister. She could just say, hey, I'm not okay. This
Right.
job is stressing me out.
Yeah.
And that's where that disconnect came from. And
Mm.
I couldn't get a say in it, but that's okay because, you know, they are very competitive in talking,
Yeah.
trying to get their points out and stuff like that, which is totally fine. But, that's where, you know, we have to come to a lot more understanding about what's going on in this world.
Yeah.
The backside has to be more open and understanding that
Yeah.
mental health is what we're talking about now. That's the
Yeah.
trend. This is where we're going. This is the direction we're going to be in.
Yep.
If you're going to advocate for something, we're going to advocate for something that, we can believe that we want to advocate in.
Mhm.
And so that's what makes things so much different between
Yeah.
them two. Doesn't stop them from loving each other or anything like
Of
that.
course.
But it's just, my dad did all he could. He retired now, but
Yeah.
he's well off on his own. He's doing, what he
Yeah.
want to do and stuff like that. He says he deserves it, and you do, but
Absolutely. I think
us on the other hand,
it's like everyone has a different perspective on mental health, and I
oh yeah,
totally get that.
oh yeah,
But I will say one thing I really respect about my generation is just that we are so open and honest about mental health. Like, my best friend called me today.
yes,
She was at the office, I was at the gym, and we have different lifestyles, I would say, because I work
hmm
more in like a creative capacity, and then she works in corporate, but both of us are able to be very just transparent with one another about how we're feeling,
hmm
and I just appreciate that so much. I feel like a lot of people my age, my boyfriend's a bit older than me, but it's the
hmm
same thing. He said growing up in his house, mental health wasn't a huge thing in his
yeah,
background and in his culture, but he said now it's, for him and like the family that like he wants to go on and create, he said it's a really big thing. And I think all we could do as humans and as, the parents in the future, right? It's like I think all we could do is just make sure that what we are showing as examples for our kids is maybe better than what we had previously. I think it's also important that we understand and recognize that everyone is just a product of their environment, right? So it's like people are only doing what they know to do. Now, mental health is becoming a lot larger of a topic and a bigger conversation. And I, for one, think that's wonderful. So, my mom did a great job, honestly, growing up with the concept of mental health. Like, again, she only did what she knew how to do, but she would always tell me that if I needed a mental health day, she would let me take the day off. We'd go to Philly, we'd get breakfast, or we'd go to the mall, or I'd run errands with her. It was really amazing. And I mean, I love her so much. And now in the future, when I have my own children, I'm always going to stress that mental health days are here for you. Man, I mean, I'm not going to go overboard, but we had some mental health days. My mom would take us to,
oh yeah,
yeah, we had a good time. My mom would take us to New York City. My mom would take us to Philly. Mental health vacation. I mean, I don't know. I'm grateful for the way that my mom raised me. I really, really am. And
man.
no, that's all.
That yeah, that's a good mom
Yeah.
because my mom. back in the day, if I got sick, I had to go to school. I had to go to school sick. And that was so hard. It's like,
Yeah.
how can how can how can we actually talk through this? Like it was so much. It's like there was no such thing as mental health for us. Like
Yeah.
in our time, there was no such thing. And this is why adults my age
Yeah.
and my brother, my sister, and everybody else that's older than us, this is why we're getting diagnosed with so many things years later because nobody took mental health seriously. You got
Yeah.
autistic people, you got people with ADHD,
Yeah.
learning disabilities. We never had that. So
Yeah.
if we was not 100% mentally, we still have to push it through. And
Yeah.
that's what makes it so hard. And it kills me because I hate when people like the older generations, I hate it when they talk about Gen Z people
Mhm.
and how lazy they can be when it comes to work. Yeah, it may be the case, but we're not talking about performance. We're not talking about how people can be lazy when they're working. It's like they're going through a whole different performance. This is not the
Yeah.
same as what
Yeah.
y'all were dealing with. Y'all
Right.
too busy firing these people. Like
Yeah.
y'all need these people.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion. But
Yeah.
people don't see that. People don't see that or respect it. And this is why people don't take these things seriously.
No, I
We're in trouble.
agree. I agree. And like I said, I think like my goal for the future is just I want to stress the importance of mental health in my family.
Yes,
And again, like another thing I'll add is my mom did not play though. Like if she felt like we were just kind of being like joking or we were just kidding, like my mom was very hard on us. Like don't get me wrong, she was a strict mom, but
for sure.
if she genuinely felt like it really was a thing of mental health, and especially I mean for both me and my brother, I would say, to be honest, I think there's also a reality in which my mom was maybe a bit more hyper vigilant about this stuff because again my dad experiencing substance addiction and going through the struggles that he did, I think it made
Yeah.
my mom even more aware that hey, I got to make sure that my children aren't going through those things either. And I have to say shout out to my mom for real because my brother turned out really great. I'm still finding my way in this world, but I definitely think I'm going down a positive path. And I think both me and my brother, we saw what my dad was experiencing and we saw how it affected him. And we both chose, instead of being experimental and wanting to try it out, we both went down the opposite path where it's like
Yes.
choosing success and that's the only option. There is no plan B.
Yeah, my dad's an alcoholic. I'm glad I ain't take that direction either. So I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big thing when you
Yeah.
see and you recognize and you understand the addictions that come in hand.
Yeah.
You don't want to
And
face that.
it's not even about being judgmental either, but it's just
Sure.
about knowing like I love this person and I don't want to go down that path either. And
Exactly.
two things can be true at once because I think that's an important thing, especially in this day and age where social media takes up so much of our energy and of our brain space. Remembering that things can be nuanced and layers. I love my dad and he wasn't perfect. I care about my dad, and he wasn't the most present father. I wish my dad didn't do the things that he did, and I did turn out a better person because of it. I turned out a more compassionate person, a more loving person, a more nurturing person. And those are the things that make me me, and I wouldn't give them up. And I believe in God, and I do believe God has a plan, and I do believe that everything happens for a reason. And at the
Mhm.
same time, it's still nuanced because it's like, well, what reason for someone to die in their 40s? So, man, it is so nuanced. Mental health is nuanced as it is, and so is substance addiction, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's hard.
You know,
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard.
it is. It really is. It is. And that's okay. I think it's just important to recognize that it could be a multi-pronged thing, and I just want people to know that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Because I know that I have seen where a lot of people in a sibling sense could actually take one direction
Oh yeah.
from what their dad did or their parents did, rather if it's drugs or anything like that, then you have the other person that actually did the opposite and, decided not to go in that direction,
Exactly.
not do the drugs and stuff like that. And that's why it was good that, you and your brother turned out the way y'all did, because y'all could have very well taken that same path y'all dad did.
Of
That
course.
that could have very well been, you know, a moment that what ifs. It could have been one of those what if moments. Like, and it's good that y'all did that. It's good that you recognize so many things in mental health
Yeah.
that needs to be talked about
Yeah.
because it's a serious thing. And that's why I always tell people, hey, if y'all going to, if y'all going to be showing how good friends that y'all are or a good family member or whatever, check up on your peoples
Yeah.
because they may not be okay.
You
You
never
know,
know. You just
you
never.
never know.
That's why I haven't done this in a minute, but when I was in high school, I would do this thing where I would just do random mental health checks with all the people in my life. And maybe it's time to bring that back because I remember
Oh yeah.
I would like, it would be like at night before I go to bed, and I'd be like, I hope all my people are doing okay. And I would just send out, like, even if it's a copy and paste, like, hey, it's Taylor, just checking in. I want to see how your mental is. I'm gonna start doing that again, honestly, because I feel like, man, like, showing people that you care is so important, and you'd be surprised how many people don't think someone is there looking out for them, and that breaks my heart.
It's funny you say that because it could be like I have a friend of mine that always checks in with me.
I love
And
that.
he don't even do it in a way he's saying, "Hey man, I'm just checking in, see how you doing." But he'll go on Instagram and he'll DM me videos. Like, "Hey, I'm just sending in saying I'm proud of you and things like
Ah, I
that."
love it.
Yeah, he did all that, and then if I react to it, laugh to it, and that's when we'll conversate. He'll check in, be like, "Hey man, you doing all right?" "Mm, Yeah, for the most part, I'm good, man. So I always appreciate him, checking in on me, especially
Yeah.
if I'm not in the right space. Because yeah, I'm always not in the right space most of the time, but most of the time also,
Yep.
pushing through and I'm still active. I'm still doing a lot of things that I need to do. And it's good that he does that with me. And then I feel guilty about it because at the same time, I don't do that with him.
Yeah.
I've only done it like once.
Yeah.
And, you know, it always reminds me that I need
Yeah.
to do it more often. I see
Yeah.
something or I'll just text him, say, "Hey man, you good? I know you check on me, I'm gonna check on you. You doing all right, man."
I mean,
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Me too. I would say just let this be a reminder because it's like I know how much it means to me. It just means
Mhm.
so much to me when people are willing to just check in. Like I get so it just brings me overwhelming joy, honestly, when people really just
Yeah,
care enough to be like, "Hey, like everything good with you?" And it don't even have to be. It does not have to even be for a particular reason, but it could
no.
just be because you want to make sure. Because again, I and this is what breaks me. It's like if maybe my dad had someone growing up who would have just, hey, just checking in with you, is everything okay? Who knows how things could have turned out? But again, I'm not
Mhm.
trying to rewrite history. I know it's not possible, but I'm just trying to make a better future for those I care about and just for the world in general, honestly.
Yeah, it's an expression. You just out here expressing what's true. You're expressing what should happen. You
Exactly.
know, you bringing out the what ifs, you're bringing them out for a
Yeah.
reason. It's
Yeah.
not, so much of you actually just trying to rewrite history. You're just actually just bringing out things that
Yep.
from what you experienced that needs to happen more often.
Yep.
And that's a smart thing to do. I never see nothing wrong with, reminding people,
Yeah.
telling people, hey, you know, I wish my dad had this, this, and this.
Yeah.
I wish this. happen. There's
Yeah.
just so many different scenarios that could have happened in
Yep.
these what if situations. There's nothing wrong with reminding people.
You know.
There's nothing wrong with it. It never is. It's important that that happens. It's
And
very important.
all it does is just reassert how much you care about someone. All it does is just reassert someone's value. And again, you never know when people could really, really use that. Because there's definitely been times when maybe it's my partner or my best friend have just been like, hey,
Hmm.
like, how you doing? And it might make my day so much better. It might change the course of my day because you remind yourself people really care. You're
Yeah.
loved, you're valued, and you're supposed to be here.
Yeah.
But
Because
again,
I
you
know I.
can't just, sorry, I begin so
No, you
excited.
good. Go ahead. No, you good. Go
I
ahead.
was
You
just gonna say, you
good.
can't just say, but you gotta really live the life too, right? Because it's like you can't
Yes.
just say you care about people. You gotta be kind. You gotta give people grace, and that's the main thing.
Yes.
That, again, like losing my dad really reminded me, like, show people grace. That's why even if I'm out in public, like I had this one really weird experience where I was at a coffee shop over in West Hollywood and my charger was plugged into the floor because, well, I needed to charge my laptop because I was working from that coffee shop. And
Yeah.
I put up a wet floor sign just so nobody would fall on it because I definitely don't want that to happen. And
Oh yeah.
someone was on his phone and he wasn't looking, which is fine. I do that all the time. And he like knocked into it and instead of like being like oh sorry he like looked at me and went like and walked away and I was like at first my feelings were so hurt I was like is it really that serious like for real it's that serious but then I realized I was like you know what he might have just got some bad news on his phone who knows that's the reality it's like you got to be kind to people even when it's not convenient for you. You got to be kind to people even when you really want to curse someone out. Like you just have to remember
Yeah.
like, hey, you don't know what they're going through. You don't know. They could have just got the worst news of their life. And I see sometimes these pictures on Instagram where it's like it'll be a picture of a bunch of cars on the freeway, and it's like this person just found out bad health news. This person might have just had a baby. This person might just got engaged. Like, there's people that might be having amazing days, but then also there's people that might be having the worst day of their life. So make sure that you extend kindness to everybody.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because I remember I was working. It was this old furniture store used to call
Yeah,
Weekends Only. It was only based out of Indy and Missouri. I
yeah,
think it was like two locations here in Indy, and then there was like six in Missouri. And I remember I was working in the back and I was going up to go to the restroom, and I saw this man. He was looking at the lamps, but something felt off about him. And I looked at him because I was just gonna go past him so I can go to the restroom and get back to
yeah,
work.
yeah,
And so I kind of hesitated a little bit and I walked up to him. And I remember speaking to him. It's like, hey, you doing all right? You need any help or anything? He was like, no, I'm good. I'm just looking around. I was like, okay, well, if you need anything, just let me know.
yeah,
I'm here, man. I'm here. Like, I'm not even supposed to be on the sales floor.
yeah.
I'm in the back. I work in the warehouse. And I go use the restroom and I come out and he comes back to me and he was like, sir. He kind of just looked at me. He was like, you kind of really made my day.
Really?
I was like, really? How did that happen? Like, I was really curious to how that happened. He was like, my mom is in the hospital and I'm just, kind of down at the moment. And
Yeah,
for you to come out, like, nobody out here didn't really do that to me. They just spoke and
yeah,
kept it to moving. And you came out and you asked me if I was okay, if I need anything, if I needed help,
yeah,
let me know, stuff like that. And we talked about it earlier. It's the
yeah.
small things.
It's a
The
small.
small things that you do for people can actually brighten their day. Your words, like it will brighten their day, it will make their day better.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, I appreciate that. Like, I really appreciate, you know, what I can do for people, even if it's small. And I just made his day just by speaking,
Yeah.
like just saying, just looking out for him and stuff like that. He really didn't buy nothing anyway. He was just in there just to get his mind off of things.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that gets me every time. That, you know, yeah, that really just that made my day. If you
I
believe
love
it or
that.
not, yeah, it just made my day. And, I never saw him again, but
Yeah,
it's just the fact that you actually doing these things to
exactly.
bring out some kindness, just speaking
Yeah,
to somebody, that can make their day. Just speaking
exactly.
to somebody,
And it's like there's an abundance of kindness in this world too. And I think we should
Yes.
use all of it, to be honest. Like sometimes when I'm
Hmm.
in public, I could be a little bit extra because I'll compliment everyone I see. If I feel like other girls, I like your outfit. Oh, you look so cute. Oh, your makeup is popping. And then sometimes I'm like, am I being weird? But I'm like, actually, I don't care. Because if it's normalized to just look at your phone and say nothing to people, then I would rather be a total weirdo than just be staring
Sure.
at my phone and not talking to people and not connecting with people. Because again, there's been times when someone has randomly complimented me and it changed the trajectory of my day. I could have been feeling insecure. There's times when I'll be feeling so insecure at the gym or something. I'll be like, oh, like, I don't love how I feel right now. I don't love how I look right now. But then someone could be like, oh, your body is tea. And it's like, oh, it is. And it's just so nice. So if I could do anything to make someone stay better, I am going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I don't care if I'm judged
For
for it.
sure. For sure. For sure. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with being weird. People look at it differently, and you know, just bringing out compliments and stuff like that. They're not used to that.
Yes.
They're not used to those people that,
No.
compliments,
Yep.
like you said, they just get on their phone and keep it to trucking and stuff like that. And I've seen videos on Instagram on how, people just go around just complimenting normal people.
I love
Some
it.
take it, some don't.
Yeah, and that's
Some look at them as weird.
and that's
And
okay. Like let them. I mean, just let them. But then you
for
never know
sure.
again. There's gonna be people who they might not have ever been complimented in their entire well, I don't want to say their entire life. That's dramatic. But you don't know. It could have been months since someone last said something nice to them. That's why I'm telling you, I just believe in being kind at all times. Universal kindness is something we could all use more of, honestly. We just could.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So I was just talking about social media.
Yeah.
So when we talk about social media, they often encourages comparisons. So
Yeah.
how do you stay grounded while building that career independently?
It's like really hard, I'm not gonna lie, especially because social
Yeah.
media has low key turned into like my full-time job at this point in my life. Um,
Hmm.
it's really hard, and sometimes I just put my phone down and I just go on DND. DND has saved me, I'm not gonna lie, because there's definitely times when I am comparing myself to other people and feeling the weight of comparison. But another thing I remember is comparison is the thief of joy. It really is. So at the end of the day, there's always gonna be people I'm seeing like I'm like, wow, I wish I could be like them, or I wish I looked like them, or I wish I had the same confidence they do, or the same this, that, and the third that they do. But at the end of the day, it's like you could really only be the best version of yourself. I mean, that's all you can be, is literally be as best as you can get, because you can't swap destinies with people. You can't swap bodies with people. All you can do is become your best, your highest self. And so I'm on a journey to becoming my best self. And especially like as a girl, a young girl living in LA, don't get me wrong, it could be hard because
Oh
sometimes
yeah.
you want to compare yourself and be like, oh, I wish I looked like that. I wish I did this and that. But no, I'm on a journey to becoming my best, my most highest self, and that's all I could possibly be. And it's hard. So I would recommend getting off social media when you can, taking breaks, going on do not disturb, and also limiting your screen time. Someone else I saw the other day, they had a recommendation to not start your day or even end your day by going on your phone. And I think that's a really good point because things can
Hmm.
wait. They really can. I know people
Oh
think
yeah.
social media world that it has to be boom, 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 but your mental health has to come first. So maybe instead of going on to social media as soon as you wake up, maybe you look at what you were doing a year ago today, or maybe you go on Pinterest and you type in something that motivates you. Maybe you talk to a family member, or maybe text somebody that you love good morning. I think there's so many better alternatives than self-comparison, and I don't want to waste time comparing myself when I could use that time to become the highest, most best version of myself.
Yep. and nobody cannot be you.
Nobody.
That is the most important. Like, you can sit here all day on social media and look at these other people. You cannot be them. You
No,
can
you
only
literally
be,
can't.
no, you only be the best version of yourself. And that's
Exactly.
why they say most of the time that, hey, if you could put your phone in another room, put it in another room.
That I
You
do
know,
that a lot. I do. I do that a lot.
now,
I'll just
I
put
don't, but
well, I would say just put your phone somewhere else. Sometimes if I'm feeling up to it or I'm having a day when I'm like, all right, I already got all my posts done, my clients are all taken care of, just put it away. Like let's say I'm going out to a dinner with my family and friends or my boyfriend or my best friend. I'll just put it away and not touch it for the dinner. You just have to practice mindfulness. And I'm working on it for sure. Again, like I said, when you work in social media, it could really feel like you always have to be on your phone, but I'm fighting that, and I think
hmm
everybody should.
yes.
You need to take the advantage of the time that you have with the people you love because you just never know when it's going to end,
And yep, and that's exactly what I did last week. I've been doing it here the last couple of weeks.
you know?
Like, I literally spend so much time on my phone. I spend so much
Yeah,
time on social media trying to get things posted and stuff like that and
I
just
can
making videos
imagine.
and all that. Doing all of that.
Yeah,
And I was like last week, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a day. I ain't doing nothing. I'm not gonna post anything. I'm not going to do none of that. I'm just gonna go with my sister. I'm just gonna go see my I'm not I'm not really close with my family like I used to be. Like,
yeah,
I kind of kept a distance. But in this case, when I kept sitting in my thoughts, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna go out because all I do is get up, work, come home,
I know.
social media, repeat. And
Yep.
it's crazy. And that's where I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do something different. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and do this and go see mine and talk and not sit in my thoughts for a little while. Just kind of get out of that, mentality. So yeah, I had to do that because I know if I keep sitting on my phone, if I keep seeing things I don't want to see,
Yeah.
that's all I'm going to do. And I'm going to make myself crazy. I
And
can't keep doing that.
yeah, it honestly makes it worse sometimes. So I really would
Hmm
recommend sometimes you just gotta get off your phone and just spend some time in real life.
hmm
I just got back. I was in Mexico this past week. I got back yesterday. And then the week before that, I was in Aruba with my family. And it was so amazing because I wasn't on my phone as much as I usually am. And man, it really was life changing. It made me feel just so much more aligned with life and with the world. And it made me realize that you don't have to be hustling 24/7. Obviously, you always want to have stuff that you're working towards and goals, but it you don't have to be on your phone 24/7 scrolling social media. It's okay if you just do what you got to do and then log off. That's completely okay. In fact, sometimes it might even be better for your mental health.
Yep, absolutely. And Gen Z is bringing back old things from back in the day, just to make themselves feel good, like old record players, vinyl records, and
I love it.
VCRs. Oh, yeah. They
Yes,
doing all that.
I'm
Now,
here for it.
I'm trying to talk to these Gen Zers to talk about bringing back just those regular old flip phones
Yes,
where you no smartphone, just a flip phone. Bring
yes.
that back. Like,
Yep.
so you really wouldn't have to do nothing with it. Like,
You know what?
phone.
Honestly, I'm almost there with you because I agree with you. That's a good idea. Just not having
Ugh,
to pay attention to anything. I am here for it.
man, like it gets hard. Like, just looking at my phone, it's like,
I
oh my
know.
God. It's nuts. Like,
No. Like we don't for real need to know this much about each other.
no, 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 no.
Like we
If we
good.
ain't advocating for something, if we ain't advocating, yeah, I don't need to know nothing.
Exactly, exactly. I feel the
I
same
just don't.
way.
I'll
Exactly.
be I'll be so getting ready to get rid of Instagram
I
and,
know.
and all that.
I
But
feel
I'm like,
like
nah, I got a message.
right. I feel like at the same time, I will say like I am very grateful for social media because it's allowed me to have
Sure.
somewhat of a platform, and that means a
Yes.
lot to me, and I'm very, very, very
hmm
grateful. And again, it's nuance, right? It could be a double-edged sword.
hmm
It's like social media is awesome and it helps me to earn a living, and I'm so grateful for that. And
hmm
There is the fact that there are so many people on there that we're always comparing ourselves to, but that's kind of more of like a mindset that we have to get rid of. And I've worked on
Yes.
this a lot, and I'm definitely still continuing to work on it. But just remembering that you cannot be anyone else and they cannot be you. So be the best version of yourself. That's all you could possibly do. All you could do.
Yep. Yep. You
That's it.
can't do that, man. Then you know it's time to get some help. You
Yeah,
know,
of course.
it's
And
time
and that's
because
okay too. I mean, I have
yeah,
therapy today in a couple hours and I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to
there
chat.
you go. There you go. There you go. So with that, I'm gonna bring you this last question, and then after that, I'm gonna go on and call it. It was good talking to you anyway,
Yes,
so
you
it's all
too.
as always. So
Of course.
when you hear the phrase breaking mental health, what does that mean to you?
Oh, well, as soon as I saw it, I really, really liked it. I would be interested to hear what you say about it, but in my
Hmm.
opinion, it's all about making mental health the forefront of all of our conversations. I would say it's
Hmm.
all about putting mental health at the forefront of everything that we do and always having it in mind, not only our own mental health, but the mental health of other people too. I think that's really important is to remember that you got to put yourself first, of course, because you got to take care of yourself, but you got to fill up your
Hmm.
own cup so that you can pour into others as well. And that's what it means to me.
I like that. I like that. What it means to me, this is what it means to
Yes,
me.
please.
Like when it comes to breaking mental health, it's more of giving the open space
Yes.
to talk anything, everything
Yes.
that's, people struggling with.
Yep.
And I say this all the time to people. It's like, you're not going to get a foundation if you don't start small.
Exactly.
Like any small thing can actually bring a bigger picture to something that, you never couldn't have realized or you never saw coming. So always starting small. Rather, I don't care what it is. If the depression, what starts a depression?
Yep.
Hell, start small on it. What
Yep.
was the very small thing that, that got you in this, situation of anxiety, depression, and all of that? You get small if you start small.
Exactly.
And that's where all of, you know, these open spaces come in. And that's what breaking mental health means to me, man.
Yep.
And bringing this platform to everyone, like, it's always been so wonderful just listening to
Yep.
people, talking to people. Because I've always been an introvert, still am.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to this, I've always like, oh man, I'm ready for somebody to talk about, their struggles. I'm ready for somebody to talk
Yeah.
about, whatever it is that they feel like that they're struggling with. Like I've learned so much
Exactly.
since I started this
And I think
podcast.
that when you see other people being vulnerable, it encourages you to take up space too. It encourages you to be vulnerable as well.
Yes. Yes. And I think that's the most important thing. If we can't even get something started from this, like having uncomfortable talks and stuff like that, and
Yes.
that's how everybody gets sheltered in. We can't have that. Like we need to
Yep.
just, it's time to start bringing it up. It's time to
Yeah.
start, discussing the issues,
And it
discussing the struggles.
inspires. It like
Yeah.
inspires people to be their own vulnerable self as well.
Hmm. I ain't never had so much people want to come on and, talk this through.
I love
This
that.
was beyond my expectations.
I
It
love
really has.
everything.
It's just been wild. Like, I'm getting emails after emails after emails. I'm like, oh, this is so exciting.
Oh, I'm
Like,
so happy for you. That's
man. Oh
amazing.
yeah. Oh yeah. It's been so wonderful
That's
just to talk
good.
to everyone, learn, grow.
I love
It's
that.
been
No,
the
that's amazing.
best. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes. Beyond my expectations.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
That's dope.
But thank you, Taylor. I
Of
appreciate you
course.
coming
Thank you.
on and having this conversation with me. It was fun.
Of course. It was good. It felt healing for sure. I mean, you
Oh
asked
yeah.
I think you asked me earlier something about like just like coping mechanisms, and honestly, this is one
Hmm.
of them. Just talking about it out loud
Oh
because
yeah.
again, not everybody always wants to talk about this kind of stuff, but
Hmm.
genuinely when you get to have these conversations out loud, it could be very healing. So I applaud you and what you're doing, and everyone over on your team and all the people in your corner. I'm sending love and prayers to all of y'all, and I really appreciate you making space for people to be vulnerable and have these conversations.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. It's always been good. It's always been. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on and having this conversation with me.
Of course. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.